ain't never been a kid.
Man, you ain't, come on, man.
That's my favorite thing about when basketball players play other sports is people forget you guys are fast. Like they really think, oh, they're tall, but they're about my speed. And then you guys play another sport with them. And it's like, oh, this is by far the fastest. Like if people saw De'Aaron Fox, they'd be like, oh, we're fine. It's not basketball. And meanwhile, he could become the best soccer player at a gym, like his first time playing soccer, just off of being faster and stronger than everyone.
Yo, I've never seen this clip, but he is so tall, first of all. Just being around, he's tall in the NBA, but just being around, like I said, regular people, he is a giant. So that's already funny. And how did he even get like to play this? Like, why is he even here?
He looks young in it,
I mean,
but I
I
also
like
do love that they put him at quarterback. Because to me, it would have been so lame if they were like, now, you know, they're just like, oh, go be a wide receiver and just post up.
Not even fair.
Yeah, just post up some like pre-med student who's like, I just want to get a workout in, and Katie's just gonna stand. Like he doesn't have to run routes. I love that he's playing quarterback, but yeah, awesome. Maybe they'll say when he did this. Okay, real quick, his throw was not, that catch was amazing, and his throw was not like a perfect throw. It was a little underthrown.
It was subpar, but the catch was amazing. So it was honestly, it was a great throw in that case. If he caught it, it's a great throw.
That's got to be the greatest moment of some college kid's life when he's like, yeah, so Katie underthrows me. I have to circle back, and then I just climb the air, and I catch it over a philosophy major, and everybody goes crazy.
It's a highlight of his life. Okay, probably not his life, but definitely a highlight.
Of that decade, for sure.
Class, was sitting on the couch and checked Twitter. Actually, I haven't had Twitter on my phone for a while, so I haven't been checking it much. But
does this guy does not look like a college kid to me? This guy looks like a 26-year-old who snuck back onto a college campus to hang out with his fraternity.
I can see that, but I have people at my college that look similar, so I'm gonna give them a pass.
Yeah, everybody does age different speeds. That's true. But this guy looks older than me 10 years ago.
Oh, man. Sorry, George.
Sorry, George.
For whatever reason, I got home, checked it. I obviously follow Kevin Durant, he's one of my favorite players. And he had just tweeted like a minute ago, and it said something like, you know, this lockout sucks. I'm really bored. Is anybody playing flag football in OKC tonight? I'm trying to, you know, run around.
Okay, so it was at OKC. He did this. It's like year 1, year 2. You know, because once James Harden got there, he wasn't trying to play flag football with college kids anymore. Suddenly, the nighttime itinerary was completely different.
That's just, I mean, yeah. But even in general, like, look at all the people there. I feel like that's just a cool experience to be even there or just playing. Like, KD, of course, he's playing a sport, but, like, he's out of his element. He's just, you know, having fun or whatever. Like, I think it's awesome when, like, professional athletes and celebrities, just you can see that they're just like normal people. Although clearly he's not normal because he has a fan base there, but he's doing normal things, which I think is pretty awesome.
I think it's awesome too. I'm watching it and I'm like, why aren't guys doing this all the time? I mean, especially pre-COVID, but even now, I feel like now we're at a place in our society where we can start sending pro athletes back into the world to dominate rec leagues. I think that we're all ready for it.
I think we are too. 100%.
I retweeted real quick. I said, I've got a game up in Stillwater. I need a deep threat. And so he, you know, I'm not thinking I was going to get a retweet. About 5 minutes later, my phone vibrates. I had a retweet from him. He goes, "Can I play?" ? And so I said, well, I retweeted that. And I said, "Can you catch?"
That's so disrespectful.
Did he just question Kevin Durant? Like, you're not going to let him play?
Okay, I don't regret anything mean I said about George earlier in the video, because that is the most absurd response to, especially Kevin Durant, the greatest Maryland athlete of all time, being like, hey, can I play in your flag football game? Can he catch? There's footage of it. You think the shape of the ball is going to make him unable to catch all of a sudden? Like, are you not aware that Kevin Durant can catch a ball?
You know what? I respect it. You know what? Humble these athletes. We got to be humbled sometimes, you know? just because you're good at basketball don't mean you're good at football. It's a valid question. It's
Nah,
hilarious, but it's valid.
This is some Skip Bayless ass shit to be like, hey, pro athlete, do you think you're up for my flag football game? The stakes are pretty high. Hey, Kevin, remember when you caught that Russell Westbrook lob and then you shot a three-pointer in front of 30,000 people against the San Antonio Spurs? Well, do you think you're going to be able to catch Devin Spiral? Meanwhile, Kevin Durant ended up showing up and being like, no, I'll be the quarterback. And everybody was like, well, he might as well, because once you're in the room with him, it's like, oh, you're going to lock him down? You're going to lock down Kevin Durant?
Yep. I mean, it's still a valid question, because even like overseas, for sometimes we have like an easy day, or so like we just had a win and we're not really having practice. Sometimes they'll set up volleyball nets and we'll play volleyball against each other. And you would think that as professional athletes, there would be some type of coordination between basketball and volleyball. Wrong. I'll be trying to win. Everybody else sucks. And it's kind of the same thing. We sometimes play soccer as well. And I have no soccer abilities ever. So it's like, how do you be so athletic in basketball, but then in soccer you suck? So, it's valid. I get it. It's hilarious.
Just saying,
I would never question Kevin Durant, though.
But he didn't go like, oh, can you run routes or can you tackle or some skill that an NBA player wouldn't show. He's literally like, strictly can you catch? It'd be like if you had, I don't know, you had like Richard Sherman playing in your basketball game. You invite him to play basketball. It'd be one thing if you go, hey, can you shoot? Or, hey, can you dribble? But if you're like, hey, Richard Sherman, can you guard people? It's like, yeah, I think an NFL cornerback can stay near you on a basketball court. I think he'll be okay.
It's still hilarious. That is funny.
Hey, Jay-Z, do you think you can handle public speaking at my event? Yeah. Do you want me to rhyme everything or make it not rhyme? I think I can talk at your gala.
That would be lit, though.
And he said, "You for real?" And then he direct me.
Yeah, I would be like, "Are you for real too?" I would be like, "I'm not going anymore. I'm gonna actually pay 22 other people to show up in my backyard, and I'm gonna hire them to play football with me instead of going to a space where you're gonna question whether I can catch a ball that." Like, I mean, have you seen his hands? I would be like, "Hey, KD, can you catch with one hand every time just to make it a little bit of a challenge?" He's the best catch radius in America.
He just wanted to know if he was going to be good enough. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
How many fraternities do you think have lost to their rival fraternities because they secretly brought an NBA player onto their team and he couldn't catch?
I feel like it's happened 3 times. Minimum.
Yeah, I mean, it probably had never happened before. And then when J.R. Smith went to college, they were like, "Hey, JR," and he just wouldn't go to games. He would just miss the game, sleep through it. And it's like, oh, we actually lost our flag football tournament because J.R. Smith never was showing up at our games.
That'd be funny.
Messaged me. He asked for my number, gave him my number. We direct messaged for a little bit. He said, "I'm going to call you in a little bit." And he wanted to play. And so I got a few text messages from him. We texted throughout the day, probably for about 3 or 4 hours. And
he looks
so now
like
they're friends.
Yeah, no, they're best friends. That guy was actually the guy KD had in his ear when he decided to leave for the Bay Area. It's like, "Hey, George, should I go to the Warriors or stay with the Thunder?" And George was like, "Hey, man, can you get a ring?" George has like 10 rings from just working at he's like still condescending. The power dynamics of the relationship have not changed at all. George just makes sure that he keeps KD just at a point of deficit in their friendship.
Absolutely.
But KD does look like one of the Sandlot kids with his little sleeves under the t-shirt.
He was ready. He was training for this moment.
He is definitely wearing his football outfit. He definitely has an outfit for flag football that he's like, okay. He saw the outfit in the closet and was like, "I'm going to play flag football today because this is what I want to wear to the game." He's taking it way more seriously than the people who are actually signed up for the league.
I mean, I feel like that's what athletes do. Anytime you're in a competitive situation, you We're here to win. I don't care if I'm going against kids. I don't care if I'm going against old people. I'm here to win.
That's so funny. There's definitely at least one frat guy that's like, hey man, why do we have to run our offense through KD? Like, I wanted to play. I don't want to just watch KD. Like, and one guy on the other team was like, well, this completely skews the power balance of the whole game. They have KD. Like, our fraternity's out of this tournament now.
Well, it sounds like he should have answered KD's message on Twitter then. Could have been him instead of George, but now look at him on the other
It's a good
team.
point. It's a learning experience. He learned from
He'll
it.
never make that mistake again.
Well, now it's hard to know which KD Twitter. You're going to have college kids just responding to random Twitters hoping it's a KD account, trying to play flag football with them.
He's like, I'm coming up. What's your address? I'm going to come to your house. So he came to my house, picked me and my buddy up. Big van, so we didn't have a limo, but yeah, it was.
Now he's telling his business. I don't like this at all. You're telling what the man drives. He picked you up. Also, don't they live on campus? Why is KD picking them up? You know, that was some weird thing of like, oh, you want to play? Pick us up at this address. And it was like a 30-second drive from that address to the football field.
I mean, I feel like he just wanted to know where he was going. Like, I feel like that's valid. Like, this dude is bringing him. I feel like it's valid. I think it's fine. And the guys, George getting his little 15 minutes of fame. He's like, yeah, me and KD was talking. We're friends. He picked me up. I met him. I'm his teammate now. I feel like he just, he in the moment. He's just enjoying this. Like,
but what kind of like
again?
What kind of like Richie Rich childhood did he have that he thinks NBA players are just driving everywhere in a limo, like 24/7, driving to flag football games in a limo? Like, why would you want to be in a limo all the time?
Why not? If I could be in a limo all the time,
you would. If it was free, if you could just flip a switch, but you had to be in a limo all the time, rest of your life, you're in traffic in a limo, you're looking for parking in a limo. I mean, your driver's driving, so you don't have to look for parking.
If my driver's driving, I'm cool with being in a limo all the time. I don't need to stretch, though, because I feel like that's just inconvenient.
You're showing up to the dentist in a limo?
Yeah. Or a taxi? Like, of course.
No, taxi, yeah, that's fine. That's completely different. I'm saying you're showing up to your therapist in a limo? I don't know. I couldn't do it.
I mean, if
I'd be in teletherapy for sure.
But I can't. So
who knows? Maybe 5 years from now, people will be like, hey, well, Kiah drives everywhere in a limo. Yeah, she just she got a shoe deal and she's spending all of the money on taking a limo from every point A to point B.
Yep, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I was pretty lucky, but it was.
How'd you guys get him the shirts?
I actually have a buddy, Sigma who works at Dupree's, and so Dupree's was actually closed, but he ran in there and started up the screen printer and printed them off real quick. And so I texted him the picture of the shirt. And he's like, "All right, I'm on the way." So
the catch,
I'm still.
Yeah, no, it's when he plays wide receiver, I would be lined up like, does anybody not know what's going to happen on this play? They're going to.
Honestly, he was on defense, so why would the other team's quarterback even throw it in his direction? Like, you knew that wasn't.
Oh, was that an interception?
Yes, that was an interception. Like, I don't know why he even thought.
All right, I need to watch that again so I can judge this quarterback.
And so Dupree's was actually closed, but he ran in there and started up the screen printer and printed them off real quick. And so I texted him the picture of the shirt. He's like, "All right, I'm on the way."
He throws it up. I mean, yeah, that's 100% on the other team's quarterback.
Quarterback error. Why would you do that? That's just stupid.
You're lobbing it up. Imagine that logic of like, oh, I got to give my guy a shot at this. Let's throw a jump ball up there. Oh, who's guarding him? Oh, it's KD. But my friend Steve can he'll just climb the ladder. He'll get there.
No, quarterback error. I don't even know why he would attempt that.
It's like a
common sense ain't
ground,
too common.
Like a Danny Amendola pass or something. Like, just throw it to the ground and let your guy like dive at KD's leg. That's a terrible idea, but it's not as bad an idea as lobbing it in the air. It's like a soft lob. I mean, that's why I didn't even register it as an interception. It's like Yeah,
Because
this
it makes
guy.
no sense. Why would he throw that? Stupid.
How? Yeah, let's get KD on the other team. They need a quarterback.
So yeah, I think he had fun. He's just the nicest guy ever. I don't know what to say. Like, I mean, when are you gonna have is a LeBron or a Kobe, best basketball player in the world, gonna come up here and hang out with Stillwater kids? I mean, it says a lot about Oklahoma City. It says a lot about Kevin Durant, and we love him here. So
Pretty surreal experience.
yeah, I mean, when his car pulled up at my house, I was just like, this is really happening. Like, my friends didn't believe me. I told.
They're doing trick plays. Okay, let's see how that's pretty crazy. They did like a double reverse trick play thing, flea flicker thing.
A few people, but obviously you could tell. I mean, it got around pretty quick out here. So actually, it's funny. I don't think I threw a TD. I caught a couple TDs from him. He's just so tall. You think it'd be easy, but I'm just not very good, I guess.
No, you're not very good, George. But you had a great day, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, he caught a couple of TDs. I love how personally he took that question. Hey, so did you throw Kevin any touchdowns? Nah, man, I need to get my life together. I couldn't even throw a touchdown to Kevin Durant.
Oh man, George. He's gonna remember that forever, though. He was kind of talking shit in the beginning, but I think he's just super excited. That was good, though.
No, he definitely. I love how proud they were that they got him the shirt. They're like, look, we opened up the fraternity. It's like, yeah, you have the key. That's how a fraternity house works. You don't have to break in. We broke in our own fraternity house and printed out the shirt that we can make infinite copies of. That's the funny thing about when you're in a fraternity is every single small accomplishment that the fraternity does, you treat like it's the biggest thing humanity's ever done. Like, yeah, last Saturday, we cleaned the house top to bottom. It's like, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do to a place that humans are living in. We threw a party and we had $60 worth of alcohol there. Yeah, no, that's how that works.
That's a party.
We stirred drinks. Every fraternity accomplishment, you would think like they saved humanity. We got KD a shirt. Yeah.
I mean,
or he could have just worn the colors and it would have been fine.
No, you gotta give him a shirt. Come on. He picked you up in his house. You gotta give him a shirt.
That is so funny.
Drove you in his non-limo. You gotta give him a shirt.
He picks them up from the house and they're like, oh, not even a limo. And he's like, okay, do you have something for me? If you're gonna tell me, make fun of my car and you don't even have a jersey for me, they're like, okay, we'll go get him a shirt.
Yeah,
it's probably his idea.
Definitely. Had to be.
I don't know, but yeah, he's so good. I mean, his wingspan's the size of a 2-car garage. So, yeah, no TD passes to him, but I caught a few from him. So
Where do you rank this in moments in your life?
it's probably the coolest moment of my life, definitely at this point. So yeah.
Yeah, he has it number one.
Moment.
Do you think he's topped it since?
Honestly, I don't know, George. Maybe George got married, maybe George has a kid. I feel like those should top it. But if not, definitely still number one.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you on that.
It was a blast. Yeah, I'm pretty happy right now. Pretty stoked. I felt bad about that. I don't know if surely he had to know that it was going to happen when he came up here, but I think he had fun, so it was a good time.
Does this get crazier than you even expected?
Yeah, a little crazier than I expected, but no, I mean, the guy deserves it. He's awesome.
That's a limo. They just said he had a van and not a limo. That's a limo. That's a stretch van. How is that? Okay, I've changed my mind about George so many times during the video. In the beginning, I was like, I love George reaching out, responding to the Twitter. Then when he does the can't catch thing, I'm out on George. Then he's bragging about getting the shirt. I'm like, okay. But then when he's like greatest moment of his life, I'm like, okay, I love George. He appreciates that this got to happen to him. Low-key, I've just been jealous of him the whole time. All my anti-George sentiment was just jealousy. But then that was way too limo-ish of a van for George to have ever been like, not a limo. I'm full all the way out on George again.
Damn, George, you were so close. I was like, I was flip-flopping a little bit with George, but damn, that was a nice ride. I don't know why he would even mention it. Like, I feel like that was irrelevant. I feel like that was irrelevant to the whole day. Like, why even mention it? Like, oh, he picked me up in a car. It wasn't a limo.
Yeah.
Like,
Not
why
a
would
limo, not a limo enough car for my taste. I
But
feel
it's
like
okay,
George,
you know? It's
I can't
okay.
prove this, but I feel like George is the reason that KD left. KD was all in on Oklahoma City, and then he watched this video on local news. He's like, "Oh, not limo enough for you motherfuckers? I'm gonna go to the Bay Area where the roads are incredibly narrow and nobody's gonna expect me to wear a limo or drive a limo."
It's a butterfly effect. This was the first ripple that started everything.
Yeah.
That comment from George. So I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
Meanwhile,
George's
Russell
fault.
Westbrook was like, I'll have the limoest limo. I'll drive a 48-footer if that's what you guys want." And Katie was like, "I'm out of here."
Yeah, it was too late. It was already set in stone, thanks to George. So
Yeah, I mean, what are NBA players doing in a lockout? He's up here in Stillwater playing flag football, so that's pretty cool. So,
all right, George. What a day.
I'm back in.
What a day.
Him being aw
What a
shucks at
day.
the end, I'm back in.
Oh, so we're Team George now. Okay. Hi, I'm Kiah Stokes, and when I'm not blocking your favorite player's shot in, does it have to be so aggressive?
That's the brand.
When I'm not blocking your favorite player's shot and making them cry, I'm shopping for new clothes and stuff at ballislife.com. And when you shop, use the code KIAH, that's KIAH, to get 15% off your order, so you can look good on the court when I swat your weak stuff out of here. I am not this person. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Click over here to check out the latest episode, and click up here to subscribe. I feel like that's good enough.